We recently went back to the scene of the fire with Brenda Dingwall.
Was hard, but at this point, I just look at it and it's so incredibly sad.
The fire killed her husband and damaged St. Paul's by the Sea Church in Ocean City. It also destroyed a food pantry here called Shepherd's Crook and a third part of the St. Paul's ministry known as Red Doors.
It's hard because I'm not the only one that lost somebody that they love. They have too. And so we're working through it.
The fire started when police say this man, John Sterner, who you see in this surveillance video, would eventually light himself on fire and run into Shepherd's Crook, killing himself, Pastor Dingwall, and severely injuring a woman who was volunteering at the food pantry.
We're doing as well as we can. Obviously, there's not a minute that goes by that we don't miss David. Certainly, there's not a minute that goes by that I don't.
Brenda is talking about her husband, the Reverend David Dingwall, who died in that tragic fire just 2 days before Thanksgiving. And now, at Christmas, she's trying her best to be strong for her 3 sons. The oldest, Nick, is autistic. There's their middle son, Alex, and youngest boy, Ian, who at just 13 years old, not only lost a dad, but also his best friend.
He knows what his dad did was important. He knows that when he died, he was trying to help people. And not that that erases the loss. But, he said, I know that Dad would want me to move forward. But we can still celebrate who he was and celebrate who he asked us to be. And that's what we do.
Despite losing her husband in the fire, Mrs. Dingwall holds no anger towards Mr. Sterner.
He was a man who was in great pain. You have to be in a whole lot of pain to set yourself on fire. I mean, that's not an easy way to go. And so how can I be angry at somebody who was in that much pain?
She and her family are feeling a great sense of loss. Still, she's also displaying that Christmas spirit. How, you might ask? Because of a sermon her husband gave a year ago, right after the dark days following the deadly mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School.
He said it beautifully, and even if it's hard to celebrate, it's about celebrating that light, and we can't let go of the light.
Well, as you've probably seen, there's no doubt Brenda Dingwall is very strong in her faith. And if there was any doubt that the St. Paul by the Sea Church and the community is going to rebuild, there shouldn't be any. It's already begun.
That Shepherd's Crook will continue. The Red Doors will continue. We will continue to worship. And that's pretty exciting to me.
Now, nobody would blame Brenda Dingwall for feeling angry or sorry for herself after a tragedy that she says could have been avoided, but says that's life.
Our entire life has been wrapped around living our faith, and we've always known that a faithful life has risk.
And she reminds us that Christmas isn't about the gifts and presents. It's something so much greater.
I would invite everybody to choose love. And that is often the hardest thing in the world to do. But that's why we're here.